Hello, and welcome to Anyland. I'm your host, Jinx, and I'm going to take you on a quick tour of my actual world. So let me start by disabling this camera. Whoop! And now you can see my point of view, the camera I was actually recording from. And I'm just going to reset back to my home location, where I warp in. This is where I warp in whenever I first log into the game or go home. And I had that custom teleporter on my arm also. Kind of a psychedelic techno world. Portal opens, and here we are with some confetti to celebrate my kind of beachy zone. This whole area used to just be floating in the void of space with stars around. I had set it to nighttime, and I decided after checking out a few other people's worlds and all that good stuff that why wouldn't I want a beach paradise to be my world, my welcome world that I always zone into. That's great. And so I did. I just set out water, a little welcome package. Can I grab there? Take a sip. Not bad. Throw it in the water. Whatever. Virtual reality, I don't have to worry about polluting. Everything's digitally recyclable. So here we are, playing with some trees, and after making a few different models, I decided to scale them around, throw them down, make a little area out of it. And it's pretty neat because, you look up, you walk through, and you feel like you're kind of under some trees. And something I was working on the geometry and setting soft snap angles so I can get a kind of cool spot. This is actually two rectangles, just one is rotated. And a bridge that I made for Jinx Mansion originally. It's there and has a little surprise as you get through the middle of it. I copied it and just deployed it here because I want to make another island over there. Not sure what, and since this whole area, this world that I have that's my home area, it's just kind of a whatever I want spot. It's set for private. I don't expect anyone to ever show up here and look at all this silly stuff. It's just for my fun. So there, we have a Stargate type portal. It is not obviously movie or TV show accurate. I just wanted to make a Stargate type of device and see what it would be like in kind of live scale. Obviously, I don't have an inner ring, I don't have chevrons, nothing's animated, the portal's not animated. It does have an on-touch effect where it'll teleport me somewhere. But it's just kind of neat to see in that scale, because in virtual reality you can get the actual feeling of scale. Like these rails here, I can feel like I'm walking down. And here's a Bioshock reference. Love Bioshock. So that head is similar to the one I'm currently wearing that you saw in the mirror when I first started here. And it was the first head I made for my avatar, and I decided I didn't want sunglasses. I'd rather have cool glowing eyes that blink. So I took that head, I kind of bronzed it, scaled it up, threw it up there with the Bioshock Andrew Ryan slogan, just for fun. This room I this room I threw together on my first night when I joined in October 2016. And Gur here was actually one of the first things that I built because I thought, what would be something fairly geometric and reasonably easy to create, I would think, that I'm familiar with and would be fun. So Gur, here he is, his eyes glow in the dark. And you can see it really is a lot of just straight up geometry parts, nothing crazy, nothing super detailed, which is fun. Here's another Gur sitting down with his cupcake, and all I did was clone that one, change his arms to sling back and his legs to go up. And you can see in the distance it's purple. I actually have a purple fog effect, but I have it set far out because my 980 Ti and good computer can render anything, not anything, anything in here. So it's not a problem. I don't feel the need to set a close fog to dither anything out. There. This space right here, it's kind of enclosed little areas where I tend to build a lot of my things, just because it's got a good ceiling height, got a good amount of space. I can walk around in my physical living room here, chaperone over here, and not have a problem bumping into any walls or anything. So I can get around an object without necessarily having to teleport around it like that. And then I have one of these TV screens you'll see, stream to video screen. And here I am, talking to you on a video screen from a camera. And I can grab this camera and move it around. Actually, not that one. To set it to change things. There we go. Now I can actually affect my own world. And you can see, kind of doing this as like a selfie cam, I guess. Not really usually my thing. And if I set it back to stream to desktop, you should be able to see me now, just straightforward. I'll just turn that off here. And that camera, things despawn in 20 to 30 seconds in Anyland if it's been moved, if it's not actually placed by an editor, so there it goes. It's a nice cleanup feature. You see the shadow of that is actually this thing, twisting around and moving all crazy like, just a weird piece of geometry. There it goes. Zoop. Just a fun thing experimenting with. This is a Doom 1-2 style teleporter. I really love Dooms. Spent so many years making my own levels, making all sorts of crazy things in Hacked and all that good stuff. So definitely one of my inspirations whenever I'm creating things in other games. I always hark back to my teenage and college years when I was editing and creating stuff for Doom. So this actually is functional and will take me to a teleport pad, a matching one that's white up there. And here we go. Voila. You can see we are actually up there. And I have one that'll take us back down because I've made them one way. Programming, scripting in Anyland with the teleport. I tried one-to-one and it just creates an infinite loop. That was fun to discover. I had to actually force quit the game on that. Some weapons that I've made just kind of on display for my own grab and play. BFG 9000, Doom again. Some primitive early lightsaber designs. They're very primitive. The blade is just a single thing. It's not all that pretty. Throwing star with particle effects and a flashlight and the teleport gun that I was inspired to make. Actually, you grab it, and shoot it, and it teleports you wherever the shot lands, which is neat. A normal ray gun, gotta have a normal ray gun. And this is Jabberwocky Eye Staff from American McGee's Alice, which is another one of my favorite games, so being able to recreate that, so happy. It didn't even take me very long, surprisingly. And a couple of actually decent lightsabers, in my opinion. That, so I can grab one. Here we are. So, you can see I have some details. The button lights up, and I press it. The blade comes out. You can see the white core and the blue outline, kind of movie style. I can just toss that aside, whatever. And then another one I made for my best friend Mentalist as a kind of gift for joining us in Anyland. He likes green lightsabers, so got some details here, some hand grips, some fancy little details, and all the different, very inspired by, but not copied from any direct lightsaber. So, good stuff. And fireplace, again, not very impressive actually, but I made it for Jinx Mansion and I was running into part limits, so I kept it fairly simple. And then just cloned it here because it was a kind of nice, cozy spot to have with my couch. And at Christmas time when I didn't have the water yet and it was still this island set up floating in a void of space with stars, I had it set to nighttime instead of having the sun out. And I made it snow, which is all area effects that you can do. I figured a cozy fireplace with some glowing fire here. Turned off the fire crackling sounds because it was driving me nuts, even though the waves in the background are okay here. And then I have the couch, which is actually in line with my actual couch in my living room here. And if I set it up right, and I teleport to the right spot, I can step forward in reality, not just teleport, and then actually plop on my real couch and lay on my couch, which will then have me right here on this one. And that's fun if I'm checking like the in-game forums and stuff. Protoss Pylon. I actually made that fairly small, kind of like this size, like a 2-foot, 3-foot scale. And when I was finished, I zoomed it up, and actually if I kind of see, if I get a little closer, boop, it is actually fairly large. And I could always scale it up a bit more if I wanted to. potions you've no doubt noticed on my fireplace are some things I've been playing with and experimenting different potion types. So if I grab one, pop the cork, you can drink it. That one is actually the base prototype that I build the other ones off of. It has no effect. But the Jinx Mansion one, the Welcome Town one, those, when you drink it, teleport you to those areas. The liquid telecookie is a version of the famous telecookie that you can find in Welcome Town that lets you be heard instead of just locally. You can be heard throughout the entire area. My blue one I have, when you drink it, it creates a bubble, a liquid bubble around you, so that anyone with any projectiles or emitted things will not be able to basically shoot you or stick anything to you. So it's kind of an anti-griefer defense. The glowing potion is a confetti potion, so when you drink it, it shoots confetti, and then it has some sparkles in your face for a few seconds. And then experiment number 511M3 I'm not going to deploy here because that is a special potion that is very delicate. Do not want to drop that one. Deck of cards. If I can grab it, yep. So I actually have it shoot playing cards whenever I pull the trigger on the controller. And you can see they're all ace of spades just for simplicity's sake. But if I try to deal them out or shoot them like I would as a magician or a dealer, they go a lot faster and they go straight instead of being lobbed with gravity. So, fun stuff. More martinis. And if you notice, this plant is actually, jump here, you see that tree. What I did was I scaled it down and then created a little pot for it. So now, hi, I have a little potted plant. Super easy, same exact model, different scale. And you can actually see in the distance the shadow of it, and the shadow of my hands, because the sun casts live shadows, which is really neat. And you can see the animated little tower geometric experiments I had as well. Our avatars are not, but everything else is, including our hands. Down here, and that's just the kind of tour of my place. You can pop in here. This is where somewhere up in the clouds, this is where I build experimental heads. I'm starting to work on hands and hand replacements, you see. Since we just got that update yesterday, 2 days ago, I'm very excited to start making some custom hands. And that, I like the chrome, but I kind of want some crazy robot looking hands and non-standard, non-5-digit humanoid hands. It's me, but with a different body. And these are some of my other experimental bodies and all the good stuff. And with that, I bid you farewell.